Hey everyone, today I am doing a tier list of the best characters in Arcane. So I'm just going to explain the tiers real quick. Okay, so we're gonna start off at the top. We got him, her. These are the characters that is him or is her. They are just them. Then we got the great, not quite him or her, but still amazing characters, some of the best. Then we got good, not good enough to be great, but still good. Then we got mid, self-explanatory. Then we got bad. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, and that's my final tier list. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later. And yeah, they're all bad because League of Legends is fucking gay. Thank you very much. No, I'm just joking. I can't put that back. Let's start off with an amazing character, a great character, one of the best characters, maybe the best character. She has a lot of competition though. Jinx. Jinx, I should do a video one day on Anakin compared to Jinx, because I haven't seen Rise of the Sith in a long time, so maybe I'm wrong. But it's basically a similar story with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and then Palpatine. It's very similar with Jinx and Violet and then Silco. It's very similar dynamic. And I feel like Jinx was written better. I remember when I saw Rise of the Sith, I felt like Anakin's motivations didn't make that much sense, and I also felt like everyone else's motivations didn't make that much sense. Whereas with Jinx, you understand completely what happened that led to her being what she is, and you understand everyone's motivations that led to this. She is an amazing character because of that. And she's basically Harley Quinn, Flash, and Deadshot rolled up into one. The amount of aura she must have. The way I like to think of aura, a lot of people like to meme of it now, but aura, I think, is if someone walks into a room and everyone immediately gets, like, even if they don't see the person, you can just feel they walked in the room. I feel like that's aura. Hers, of course, would be when she walks into a room, anyone could die at any second. I love in season 2 they do a scene basically like that, where those weird creepy mask wearing guys, she takes off the hoodie, they realize who she is, and they're like, oh shit, and then she just pops all three of them. One of the coolest scenes in the show. That was pretty sick. If you think about everything she's done, she bombed Piltover multiple times. She basically tactical nuked the council. Then she became a symbol for the whole of the Undercity, basically a resistance symbol. And in the end, she helped everyone win against Ambessa and Victor. So yeah, I'm gonna mention her character a lot going through this video, so I think let's just get out of the way. She is her. She is 100% her. Speaking about Jinx, her sister Violet. Violet, I feel like, is a overrated character for me. Her best moments is with Vander and with Jinx when she's trying to actively change Jinx or make her better or anything like that. Other than that, I don't really like her, to be honest. Arcane has no good guy in the show, has no pure good guy. Vi is a perfect example of that. She is almost like an anti-hero, although kind of worse, actually. When Jace accidentally kills a kid, she basically tells him to get over it. I mean, I feel like it would be more interesting for her character if she was polar opposites to Jinx, because right now, as it stood, she felt more like the opposite side of a coin. Two sides of the same coin, basically, instead of being polar opposites. I feel like it would be much interesting for her to be polar opposites. She is overrated in my opinion. She's good, but overrated. I understand her motivations. I understand why she likes to beef with everyone, even though it does kind of become annoying. She just wants to fight everyone the whole time. But I understand. She was in prison and all that, whatever. Speaking about these two, let's get over to the girlfriend, Caitlyn. I like Caitlyn when I first saw her in the show because she starts out as Jace's assistant and she was very cute and they were very funny together, working together, and I wish there was more scenes with them, but sadly there will never be. I think in season 1 she was the closest you got to a pure good character. She starts off as an assistant, then she works her way to an officer, tries to prove that she isn't just a spoiled brat, and actually does good as a whole. Then in season 2 she becomes a deviant. She becomes a complete menace. She just wants revenge, and again you understand her motivations through season 1 and through season 2. She wants revenge, and she basically allows Ambessa to commit hate crimes against the Undercity. And she also becomes very trigger happy as well in season 2. Again, like I said, there's no pure good characters in Arcane. Something I didn't like in the show in season 2 is that once they do finally get Jinx, she completely just like forgets about her, basically. Even though throughout most of season 2 that's her whole motivation. I feel like that was a bit of a letdown. I would say she's great. She's a great character though. Season 1 she's almost pure good. Season 2 she has a vengeful arc that does conclude not so well. I'm gonna put it, she gets downgraded. She gets downgraded to good. Hey look, they deserve each other. Speaking about Caitlyn, she took over the sheriff role from Marcus. Marcus, I feel like, is a underrated character. He starts the show like everyone else, trying to do good. He wants to find people that the council are looking for in season 1, and then in trying to do so makes a deal with the devil basically, and then becomes a crooked cop. Although he isn't the typical crooked cop that does everything Silco says. He does do a lot of terrible shady stuff, but he didn't kill Violet. He does a lot of stuff to just happen that Silco doesn't want to happen. As a whole, he's a very good character. A lot of people forget that when it came down to it, he didn't kill Caitlyn in the end, even though he was supposed to. In the end, he just couldn't do it. Silco and Marcus's scenes in season 1 are some of the very good scenes throughout that season, especially the one where Silco threatens Marcus's daughter. That was very good. I like that scene a lot. Marcus is a good character. He's hardly in the show, but he is very vital to the story as a whole. He is the reason why Vi and Jinx got separated basically, even though it was to save her life. Again, good motivations, sadly for his character, just tragic how it happens. Speaking about Marcus, Silco. Silco is a great character, a truly great character. Let me just, it's a very odd sitting arrangement. I'm trying to tear this and look at you at the same time. Unlike someone like Caitlyn and Ambessa, you understand everything Silco does in the show. There isn't one scene where I'm like, that doesn't make sense, why did you just forget about this or that? There's nothing like that for Silco. The whole story of Arcane is basically that of a Israel-Palestine conflict type of situation, except with Piltover and the Undercity or Zon, whatever. And just like in real life, you understand the motivations of both sides. Both sides has a point. And in any normal story where there's superheroes and someone like Captain America, if you put Silco there, he would obviously be the villain, he would obviously be the big bad. But again, because there's Arcane and there's no pure good guys, he isn't really a bad guy in the show compared to everyone else. Like I said, Vi justified killing kids. Jace did kill a kid. A lot of other characters do shady stuff. Compared to everyone, he isn't really a bad guy. You understand completely what he's doing and why he's doing it. And for that, he's a great character. There's nothing really about him that is just pure evil. Except for maybe the shimmer addiction thing, but speaking about Silco, Vander is oddly in the show. He's mainly there, like Silco, to show the symbolic cycle of betrayal and violence that continues on, and I love it the way it's written. Vander is basically, like I said, some of the best scenes of Vi is with Vander in them when she just remembers him, and it's really well done. The way Vander is basically the father to Vi and Silco to Jinx. Again, Vander starts off the show with you thinking, oh, he's the pure good guy, goody two shoes kind of character. He is Captain America. He's just pure like joy and rainbow sunshine, everything like that. He's just good. Turns out he isn't that good, and he kind of is the reason Silco is the way he is. He tried killing him for no good reason, betrayed him. And yeah, like I said, in Arcane there's no pure good character. He plays a very short role in the story, but his impact is felt throughout the whole series. And for that, he's a very, very good character. I would say he's not great, he's hardly in it, but he is very good. I shouldn't have even put Warwick on this list. He shouldn't be on here. He isn't a character, okay? He isn't a character. He's mainly just a vessel for different characters, okay? It first starts off with Singed being his vessel, then it's Vander, then it's Victor being his vessel. Warwick is not a character. If you want to qualify him as a character, there he's bad. He's not a character, okay? He shouldn't be on this list actually. Next, talking about Warwick, Singed or Dr. Revik. I think it's Singed. I'm not sure. Again, we're reaching side character territory now. But Singed in season 1 hardly does anything. He just is this crazy mad scientist. But then in season 2, they take it up a notch, and he actually gets some of the hardest. He gets one of the hardest lines in the whole show. He says something along the lines of, "Why does anyone do terrible things for love?" And that was, damn, that hit hard. And that explains his whole motivation through season 1 and through season 2. He basically just wants to cure his daughter from death, which is also a bit of a strange thing, because in the end he did win and he did save his daughter and bring her back to life. So is there now immortality in Arcane? Is Jinx gonna get raised back? I hope so. He is hoping. Just joking, that's never gonna happen. But yeah, Singed is a character you understand at the end. Then again, he's hardly in the show. He hardly does anything. Sorry, but it's just myth, I feel like. Speaking about Singed, Sevika. It's a bit of a stretch. She has some of the best fight scenes in the whole show. Her against Violet, both fights in season 1, pretty dope. I prefer her arm in season 1 than the one in season 2. Her arm in season 1 is like a cyberpunk arm with a glowing sword. That was pretty dope. In season 1, she starts off betraying Vander for Silco. Then the whole season, she has her loyalty tested, and by the end, she finally does prove that she can be loyal, and she sticks with Silco. Then in season 2, she basically does nothing. She just tries to rally Jinx and the Undercity together. That's basically all she does in season 2. In season 2, she does have a pretty cool fight scene against Smitch or whatever his name is, and that was really about it. I liked her more in season 1, but even then, she hardly has an impact on the story. Cool fight scenes, I might change this. For now, she's mid, I might change it. Speaking about Jinx and Sevika, Isha. Now it's funny, Isha doesn't say a single thing in the show, and hardly does anything, but does she leave an impact for everyone? God damn. She in season 2 is mainly the driving force behind Jinx, motivating her to do more for the Undercity, for everyone really. She starts off the show being vulnerable and scared, and then she basically becomes the Jinx copycat rebel leader. Then she ends off sacrificing herself, being unafraid. And when she sacrificed herself, by the way, I didn't realize she sacrificed herself. I just thought she popped the cap in Warwick, but then after that I saw how Jinx was acting. I realized, oh shit, she's dead. I didn't think they would be able to kill a kid like that in Arcane, but they did. And again, she's a character that doesn't say anything, hardly does anything, but yet if you show anyone that loves Arcane a picture of her, they'll immediately become sad. That's God, she hardly does anything. Okay, I might change it. For now, she's good. She's a good character. The character I mentioned earlier, Smitch against Sevika, only really in one episode. I mean, there's not much to say about this guy. Cool fight scene, and I guess his motivations made sense. He was right. If they just handed over Jinx, the war would have been over. So, I mean, still he's hardly in the show. He doesn't do much of anything. I'm just gonna leave him in bad. I would have loved actually to see I would have loved to see them capture Jinx and then have a trial of Jinx. That would have been an amazing thing to watch. It would have been so funny to see Jinx just be nonchalant, not caring about anything against people that she hurt a lot. It would have also been cool to see the ideological differences between these people, especially with such extremes like Jinx versus a very vengeful Caitlyn. That would have been cool to see. A trial of Jinx would have been so cool to see. So much could have been done with that, and also it would have been very funny. But anyways, never happened. Never will happen. Speaking about Smeech, Jace. They have nothing to do with each other. Jace for me saved the show, made me keep on watching, because like I said in my review, I didn't like the first 2 episodes, but episode 2 I liked a bit more because of Jace and Victor. I thought they were very cool. And Jace starts out the show just being an inventor, like Victor, wanting to help people. This is a sort of Oppenheimer story between Jace and Victor, both using an invention to try and help and save the world and make it a better place, ending up pushing it too far to the extremes, to the point where it does more harm than good. And it's a very brilliant story told between these two. Jace starts the show off kind of like a Captain America, Superman character, which is a pure good, lot of joy character. But again, this is Arcane, there's no such thing as a pure good character. Like I mentioned, he killed a kid. And also something else, he did kick out his mentor, Heimerdinger, in the show after he basically just doesn't want to give him what he wants, and he just has him kicked out. One of the saddest scenes in the show. Something else with Jace I have a small issue with in season 1. He just learns Kung Fu out of nowhere. Like, he can just fight, once he gets the hammer, he can just fight anyone out of nowhere. Where someone like Vi, Caitlyn and Jinx, you understand where they got their fighting skills, their abilities and everything like that. With Jace, I haven't seen him doing any Kung Fu lessons, so I don't know how he got these sick moves all of a sudden once he gets the hammer. That's just a small issue, but still I don't understand it. A underrated scene in season 1 is one with Jace talking to Silco, having a negotiation with Silco. I did not expect that to happen at all. Out of all the people to have a crossover in season 1, I didn't expect it to be Silco and Jace, and it was an amazing scene. Again, they kind of polar opposites in a way. It was an amazing scene to watch. I wish there was more of it. In season 1, I didn't think anything too special of Jace. But then in season 2, he's hardly in season 2, but when he returns, he basically goes full psycho demon mode, and I thought he was gonna be the next villain of the show, but which he kind of is. He just pops Victor and just ruins everything for everyone with Vander, Isha, Jinx, Vi, just ruins everything. But then in the next episode he redeems himself with one of the best episodes in the show, where he basically lives a nightmare, his worst nightmare, an apocalyptic world. And by the way, that episode was beautiful with the whole apocalyptic world and how it looked and everything. That episode shows how he has to face the consequences of the worst his invention can bring, continuing the whole Oppenheimer story. And you get a lot of respect for Jace in that episode. One comment I saw about that episode that I liked, it said something along the lines of, which is worse, living in apocalyptic nightmare or having to leave a paradise like Echo. Damn, that's a thought. Jace, season 1, nothing too special. Season 2 makes him 10 times better. And also a lot of women started liking him in season 2 because of the beard or whatever. I also like the way it ended with Jace, him basically being the key to convincing Victor to change his mind and to become better and to truly help the world in a different way than what Victor wanted. I like that a lot. I would say Jace is a great character. I would say he's a great character. Speaking about Jace, Mel. Mel in season 1, again, she isn't exactly someone as exciting as someone like Jinx or Violet, but due to good writing. In season 1, you're constantly like side-eyeing her, like what is she up to? You always just sus of her for some reason. Turns out she isn't actually harboring any malicious intent, except for her mother, which almost convinced her. But in season 1 as a whole, she's good. Nothing too special, but she's a good character. But then in season 2, she's hardly in it. And also, I didn't understand at all the whole Black Rose, Mel, and Bessa situation. I didn't understand that at all. And then all of a sudden, she also gets superpowers. Like, I don't know. Her ending was cool. The fight scene with the mom was cool. And how it ended off with her, that was very nice. I feel like as a whole, I liked it in season 1. In season 2, except for the ending, ended off nicely. As a whole, mid. I would say mid. She kind of just lost me in season 2. Speaking about Mel, Ambessa. Ambessa is a underrated character, I feel like. She gets a lot of hate for no reason, I think. In season 1, her presence alone elevates the whole stakes of the whole finale, because you realize that if something bad happens, she's just gonna take over, and that's exactly what does happen. I like her whole war obsession. I like almost everything about her. Her motivation makes sense. She's basically just Vin Diesel. She does anything for family, and I liked it all the way until the end. In the end, she basically gets what she wants. Mel is safe and sound, and she's returned to her, and then she still continues to go to war. Didn't make sense for a character. Doesn't have any good motivation to do that in the finale. And I feel like she was a great character until the ending. Now she's top tier up there, but not a great character anymore. Could have been great. Their motivations didn't make sense in the end. Speaking about Ambessa, we got where is he? Rictus, this guy, this big bulky guy, this Viking guy. I find him to be a kind of funny character and also a bit of an asshole. In season 1, he's basically just disgusted by Ambessa the whole time. Hardly does anything, but he's pretty funny. In season 1, he's just ashamed and disgusted to be there while Ambessa is doing this ridiculous stuff. In season 2, he plays a much bigger role. He kind of becomes a voice of reason behind Ambessa, telling her not to suspect the Rose of everything, the Black Rose of everything. And also, it kind of shows the willingness of Ambessa to do anything for her goals. All in all, I would say as a character, it achieves the goals it's set out to. His fight scenes are also cool. There isn't a lot of them. I wish there was a longer fight scene between him and Jinx. I actually, come to mention, I would have loved to see a Jinx versus Ambessa fight. That would be sick. But Rictus, I find him to be a funny character. It was funny when Isha just he allows Isha just to beat on him. Like, he just takes it and he hardly feels any of it and just tosses it aside. I thought that was funny. He's hardly in the show. He's mid. Now comes the character I was mentioning before, the Black Rose. Again, I didn't understand her motivations. I didn't understand her connection with Mel and Ambessa. I didn't understand any of it. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. That's a big possibility. But I just did not get her. She was also very hyped up in season 1. I thought it was going to be like a full different nation or whole different army that was after Mel and Ambessa, but it turns out it was just this. And also, the magic isn't explained, whereas the hex and the shimmer and everything else is explained thoroughly in the show. These powers just come out of nowhere. She just seems overpowered, and it just comes out of nowhere. And I didn't understand anything about her. So yeah, we can keep it at that. I was not a fan at all. Speaking about Black Rose, Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is the closest you'll get to a pure good character in Arcane. But again, if you dig a little bit deeper and you really think about it, he was basically ruler of the whole city the whole time, and he allowed a lot of terrible stuff to happen. So it's, again, Arcane, not really a show of pure good characters. Thinking about it, I would have loved to see someone like as silly and goody two shoes as Heimerdinger talk to someone like Ambassador. That would be very funny to see, I feel like. When I first saw him in the show, I thought he was just gonna be an annoying character. Turns out he wasn't at all. He's just a very fun character to watch, and he also hits sometimes in the emotional levels with someone like Victor and Jace. Like I mentioned before, with Jace betraying him, and when Victor knows he's dying, they have a nice conversation together with Heimerdinger. And also him and Echo, very fun to watch. And as a whole, I would say he is a good character. However, he ended off kind of just like nothing. His sacrifice comes out of nowhere. It also seems uncathartic with his character because he's this immortal being that just out of the blue decides to die, sacrifice himself. And it just comes out of nowhere, and then no one talks about it afterwards as well, which is a shame. He was low-key kind of right about everything he said as well during the show. So you know what? I'll keep him in good. Speaking about Heimerdinger, Echo. Echo is the coolest character in the whole show. He has a hoverboard, he has a cool mask, he leads a rebel resistance group, pretty sick. And he has this whole time travel loop thing about him, and he's a master of time with his whole stopwatch thing, pretty sick. Some of the best scenes in the whole show is with Echo. The fight scene against Jinx, pretty sick. Then the whole episode with Jace as well, that was pretty sick and sad as well. I am saying as well too many times. And of course his fight scene against Victor in the end was also pretty sick. In season 1 he hardly does anything really, but in season 2 he shines and he basically saves everyone by the end. Pretty sick character. He is definitely, I think he's him. He's definitely him. He is the GOAT. Now, time for the man himself, Maddie. Maddie is a character that's mainly there to shock people. She comes in again, we should have learned by now with Arcane, she comes in all goody two shoes, pure good character, just a light of pure joy, and yeah. Turns out of nowhere, with really no motivation, she betrays Caitlyn, and that's really her whole purpose for the character, is just to betray, and it comes out of nowhere because it is out of nowhere. There's no motivation for it, and yeah, I would. Is she mid? Nah, she's bad. She's bad. Finally, we come to the man himself, Victor. Victor is an interesting character, especially when you compare him to someone like Jinx, Violet, all these other very hyper energetic, exciting characters. He shouldn't really be the one to shine, and shouldn't really be the one to be a great character, but he is. He is an amazing character because we sympathize with him a lot. He starts off the show just wanting to help the world. Also in season 1 he then tries to save himself, trying to survive, and you understand his motivations completely. He just wants to save the world, he just wants to live, he just wants to survive. And a lot of people forget about it, but in season 1, after he sees the dangers of his technology, he is willing to die to save everyone else from his technology. A lot of people forget about that. But then in season 2, he actually does get the chance to help everyone. And he does help everyone. Until Jace comes in and ruins everything. And then he gets influenced by bad people, and he takes helping people to the extreme and becomes bad guy. He is an amazing character through and through. A lot of people also forget he was by far the most powerful character in the whole show. By the end of it, the only reason the heroes won is because he basically surrendered and gave himself up. That's how powerful he was. No one could beat him. Only he could choose to stop what he was doing. He is definitely him. Is he better than Jinx though? That's the question. He's definitely him though. He's definitely him in the show. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, these two. Yeah, they can stay at the bottom pit of bad. They can just die. I didn't like them at all. I didn't like the first two episodes of the show because of them. I didn't like them at all. And you can all say what you want. The only good thing about them is that they died. That's the only good thing about them. Think about it. If they were still in the show, would they make the show any better? No. Good. They deserve to die. And that is my tier list. More bads than I expected, but a lot of great, a lot of good. And overall, the show has a lot of amazing top tier characters, a lot of good characters, and a few bad ones. But overall, amazing. Although I must ask a favor to the whole Arcane community. Please stop making Jace and Victor gay. They're basically brothers in the show, and it's really weird. I've already seen a lot of weird, like, Jinx and Violet stuff. Like, it's just very weird, and yeah, you guys should just stop with it already. It's very weird. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and you're out.